Good afternoon to all. What we are going to today study in, suppose let's say today's session is the exercise. So we have already completed all the points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Actually, this last part is supposed to be given in homework, but I don't like it to give. So what we'll be doing is we'll be solving it together. There are in total 10 questions, and what we'll do is we will divide them properly. Today we'll take only 4, tomorrow 4, and then suppose let us say in the second session 4, and then the remaining 2 or whatever is remaining, that will take tomorrow. Okay, so let us start. Exercise is this exercise is nothing but which is given at the end of the page, that is page number 112. Okay, so let us start with the first question. Now, before we begin for the first question, one thing. Whenever I explain answers for these questions, see, you just have to take a screenshot. Whenever I ask you to take the screenshot, just take it, and afterwards you can write it. Because this is not our regular school class. This is online period. In school, teachers give you time to write because that those things are going to be rubbed from the board, and hence you need a record of that. Hence teachers give you extra time to write. But this is online period. You can just take the screenshot and take, like, save it in your reference, that is your folder. You doesn't need, or the teacher doesn't need to give you extra time for this. Fine. So whenever I say you to take the screenshot, just take it, but you pay total attention here, because afterwards also you can just write down the answers. Right now your focus should just be to understand how that problem is being solved. Okay, the techniques. So only concentrate on that. Now, before we begin first question, let me remind you that this first question is just like that farmer question. In one of the blue questions, there was question about a plot, a rectangular plot, and there was one person, that one farmer, who was taking rounds, and they had asked us to find out what I can say, displacement and distance. In the same way, this question is the same one, but instead of a rectangular plot, they have given us a circular one. So that is the only difference. And in place of farmer, there is athlete. So first question from that exercise is, this is the one. An athlete completes one round of a circle of diameter 200 meter in 40 seconds. So that athlete is completing one round in how many seconds? 40 seconds. And what is the diameter of the track, of that circular track? 200 meter. Okay, so it's a circular in nature. So let me just try that, but we'll read the question first. What will be the distance covered and the displacement at the end of 2 minutes 20 seconds? So it is very simple. All they're asking is, please calculate distance and displacement at the end of 2 minutes 20 seconds. So first we need to convert this time. All they're asking is, in this time, please calculate distance and displacement. Very simple to do. But first, let us draw our circular track. In exam, first you have to imagine the situation. Without imagining the situation, you cannot solve physics problems. All the physics problems require proper, at least it's thinking, it's imagination, that sort of thing. So that is totally required. So first we will draw our circular track. So that is what we have done. We have taken our circular track. Now you already know that to find out distance and displacement, we generally take rounds. Okay, so we need initial and final positions. But for that, what I will do is, I will just draw some reference lines. Actually, these are not required, but it will help us to find out answers more quickly. So what I will do, in this circle, I will just draw 2 reference lines. So these are my reference lines. Okay, to calculate from where to where this person is going, at least that I should know. So for that I have drawn. It is not necessary, but essential for our understanding. Now, what is the diameter? 200 meter, right? In 40 seconds. So let us start. So let us say that the starting point is this. Now diameter of this circle is 200 meters. So that athlete is going from this place, and in clockwise direction it is moving. Okay, goal ghum raha hai, in clockwise direction. Now what is the diameter of the circle? That is given in question, 200 meter. What would be the radius? Radius would be half of this. That is 200 by 2. The radius, how much radius would be? 100 meter. Half of 200. What else is given? Time is given 40 seconds. So total time is this one. This is time required to complete one round. But what time they had asked us for distance and displacement? 2 minutes 20 seconds. So total time is this, not 40 seconds. So total time is 2 minutes 20 seconds. Now this needs to be converted to seconds. How much is 2 minutes? 2 minutes, 2 into 60 plus 120. So that would be 140 seconds. So 1 minute में 60 seconds. So 2 minutes, 120 plus 20, that is 140 seconds. What about the rest? So one round time is given. How much it is? 40 seconds. Now we need to calculate distance and displacement. But for both these cases, we need to know how many rounds this athlete was able to complete in 2 minutes 20 seconds. That means in 140 seconds, how many rounds this person was able to complete, that we should know, only then we can calculate distance and displacement. Okay? So we first need how many rounds. So for one round, how much time it is taking? That athlete is taking 40 seconds. That is given in the question. So we need to find number of rounds, right? How do we calculate number of rounds? All we need is take the total time divided by time for one round. Okay, so 140 by 40 will get number of rounds this person has completed. So let us take, what is the total time? That is 140. What about time for one round? That is 40 seconds. So 140 by 40. So 140 by 40. Total time by time for one round. Now 0, 0 I can cancel. So it will remain 14 by 4. Again, I can divide 2 2s are 2 7s are. So that would be 3.5. So 3.5 is the number of rounds. Okay, how many rounds it took? 3.5. So give me a response in chat box. Have you understood this particular step? That how we are calculating rounds? All we need to do is divide total time by given time. Time required for one round. Okay. So take screenshot of this. Take screenshot of this. Okay. Now we know how many rounds this person has completed. How many rounds? 3.5 rounds, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 3.5. So that means this person has started from here. Even if we complete 3 rounds, that person is going to come here, right? What about this 0.5? This 0.5 means it has to go one more half round. Okay. 0.5 means what? Adha. So adha means what? Half. This person is going to move half more distance, right? So this would be the final position, this one. So let us see how we can solve this. So number of rounds this person has completed is 3.5. 1, 2, 3, and then half. Okay. So initial position would be this, final position is this. How come this is the final position? Because 3 rounds would be completed at this position, and for that 0.5, this it will again move to the other side, other opposite side. So that is the one. Okay, initial final position. Now let us solve for distance. Okay. Now to calculate distance, you need to multiply one round distance can be calculated with the help of circumference, that we already know. Okay. One round can be calculated with the help of circumference. But the person has completed 3.5 rounds. So to calculate distance, we need to multiply circumference and number of rounds. Okay. मतलब one round distance is 2 pi r. And how many rounds this person has completed? 3.5. So we need to multiply that. Circumference can be calculated by 2 pi r, right? Circumference is 2 pi r. And what are number of rounds? Those are 3.5. So we can multiply it with 3.5. We know what is the radius, that is 100 meter. We'll just put the values there. So that would be 2 into pi value is 22 by 7 into r value is 100. Diameter is 200, so radius is 100 into 3.5. Now I can divide 3.5 by 7. 7 5s are, but there is point, so that means 0.5. So the calculation would become 2 into 22 by 7, right? But what I'm doing is I'm multiplying this 3.5 into 100. Okay, so that would become, this point will be cancelled. It will become 350, right? Point is cancelled and one more 0. So 350. Now I can divide by 7. Okay? So 7 5s are, that would be 50. So that would become 2 into 22 into this 350 was divided by 7. So 7 ones are 7 5s are 35 and 50. Now I can easily just multiply this. 2 into 22 is 44. 44 into 50. So that's a simpler calculation. That is how much? 2200. So distance for this case was 2200 meter. SI unit is meter, as this is distance. So answer is 2200. Okay? So understood how to find out distance in this case? Take screenshot of this. Take screenshot of this and we will proceed further for displacement. Displacement is very simple in this case. All we need to do is check the distance between initial and final position. Length between initial and final position will give you displacement. Okay, so it will take some time to calculate distance, but for displacement, let us see how to find out displacement. Now to calculate displacement, all we need is initial and final position. ठीक है? Round doesn't matter in this case because all we need is initial and final position. So forget about rounds. What about initial and final position? What is this length? Doesn't it look like a diameter? ठीक है? So this diameter is nothing but giving you what? Displacement. So displacement in this case is diameter, because you can see we are joining other two ends in passing through the center, so that means it's a diameter, and that diameter length is already given. What is the value? 200 meter. So displacement in this case would be how much? 200 meter. ठीक है? Answer is very simple for displacement. Understood this? How to calculate distance and displacement? It will take some time for you to calculate distance, but displacement is very simple. Okay, so give me response in chat box. Can we proceed? Understood how to calculate distance and displacement? Okay. Now let us move for the second question now. Take screenshot of this because we have calculated distance in the previous slide, and the next slide we have calculated displacement. Okay. Now let us move for the second question. Second question is this. In the second question, they are saying Joseph jogs from one end A to the another end B. Okay. And suppose let us say they have given us time from A to B, that is 300 meter in 2 minutes 30 seconds. Okay. And then turns around and jogs 100 meter back to point C in another 1 minute. What are Joseph's average speed with velocities in jogging from A to B and A to C? So let us see what they are trying to say. Okay, let us imagine the situation. So they are saying, okay, Rushikesh, what are you asking? Sir, displacement should always be in straight line. It is a straight line, and it should be, because displacement is nothing but distance between the two, length between the two shortest points, and that is always a straight line. That we already discussed in the first session. Okay, so that's your answer. Now let us proceed for this situation. Let us imagine this. So there is one road. Okay? There is one road. There are 2 points A and B. This person is Joseph. Okay? This person is Joseph. So what he is doing is he is going 300 meters. Okay? So from moving from A to B, that person is covering 300 meter in 2 minutes 30 seconds. So let us say he is moving from A to B. Okay? So how much distance he has covered? 300 meter they have given us. And what is the time given? 2 minutes 30 seconds. So let me write it here. 2 minutes 30 seconds. 2 minutes 30 seconds. But we cannot take 2 minutes 30 seconds. You know, we always take time in seconds. So we need to convert this time. So 2 minutes 30 seconds means how much? 120 plus 30. So 150 seconds. So 150 seconds, right? For moving from A to B. So first situation is done. Now second situation, that this Joseph turns around, matlab घूम जाता है, turns around and jogs 100 meter back to point C. ठीक है? So how much distance is he has traveled again? 100 meters from B. ठीक है? So let me turn him. So he has traveled from B to this position, and this position we are calling C. And how much distance he has traveled? 100 meter in 1 minute. So that is the one. So this is the C point, right? This is the C point. How much distance he has traveled from B to C? 100 meter. And what is the time required for this? That was 1 minute. But you know, we cannot take in minutes. We have to take in seconds. So that would be 60 seconds. So first, Joseph went from A to B. Then he went from B to C. And all the things we have mentioned here, right? Now they're asking us, find out average speed and velocity. So we have to find out average speed. We have to find out average velocity for both the cases, from A to B and then from A to C. So for both of these cases, we have to find out individually. Matlab average speed 2 times we have to calculate, average velocity 2 times we have to calculate. Specifically for A to B and specifically for A to C. Chalo, so give me response in chat box. Have you understood the situation, what we need to calculate? Can we proceed? Trying to solve this question. Okay. So now I can just calculate the remaining distance. See, initially this total distance from A to B is 300 and this distance is given as 100. So what this distance might be? AC total distance 300 hai na, yahan ka 100 hai. So what is the distance of AC? 300 minus 100. So that will be 200. So this distance is 200. Very simple. Because this 200 and 100 will make us 300. So this distance is 200. I have written it if needed. Okay, if needed. So that's why I calculate. It's not necessary, but if needed. Okay. Now I will take the same picture, okay, in on the top hand side, and I will try to solve for A to B. For A to B, I need to calculate two things: average speed and average velocity. So let us try to solve. Now for average speed, what is the formula? Average speed is total distance by total time. We have to calculate only for A to B in the first case. Okay, to forget about C. Just concentrate on A to B. Now what is the distance traveled for A to B? That is 300. And what is the time required? 150. So we can just put these values in this particular formula. What is going to be the total distance? 300 meter, right? That we already know from A to B. And what is time? 150 seconds. So 150. Now 0 will be cancelled and 15 ones and 15 twos are. So average speed would be 2 meter per second, right? 0 zeros are cancelled, then 15 ones and 15 twos are. So 2 meter per second. Average speed is 2 meter per second for A to B. Okay, take a screenshot of this. Average speed for this case is 2 meter per second. Now let us try to understand how to calculate average velocity in this case. How to find out average velocity? Average velocity formula is very simple. Total displacement by total time. So we need total displacement. But you know, in this situation, the total displacement is same because this person has not, gone back or forth. This is just distance between A and B. So displacement in this case would be how much? 300 again, because initial position was A, final position was B. So displacement again would be 300 only. And what is the time required in this case? That was again 150. So 300 will remain as it is because distance and displacement is same for A to B. 300 only. So again, answer for this case would be 2 meter per second. That means for A to B, average velocity and average speed was same. Reason, what was the reason? Because total displacement and total distance was same. Distance and displacement was same for A to B. Hence, average speed and average velocity was also same, 2 meter per second. So take screenshot of this. Okay. Simultaneously give me response in chat box. Have you understood how we calculated average speed and average velocity for this? A to B, it's very simple. You just have to apply your concepts of distance and displacement. Okay. Now let us try to find out situation for A to C. Okay. Now they are saying calculate from A to C. Matlab we have to take into account B also, but final position is C for A to C. Now let us calculate average speed first. What is the total distance in this case? Total distance we have to calculate separately. Okay. So I will show it to you separately. How to calculate total distance? First, that person has traveled from A to B and then B to C. So total distance would be AB plus BC. AB plus BC. AB plus BC. Why? Because that person has traveled from A to B, then B to C. So AB plus BC. What is AB? 300. What is BC? BC, this length, 100 meter. So we can just add it 300 plus 100, right? 300 plus 100. So that will become how much? 400. So 300 plus 100 is 400 meter. What about total time? Initially, that person took A to B, he took time was 150 seconds. Afterwards, he took time of 60 seconds. The total time would be 150 plus 60 seconds. So total time. AB time required for A to B, and BC time, that is time required for B to C. So that would be how much? 150 plus 60. 150 plus 60. So that would be how much? 210 seconds. Okay? Very simple. Okay. Now these are the two things. Total distance we have got, total time we have got. All we need to do is divide them. So average speed would be total distance by total time, 400 by 210. 0 you can cancel. Okay. Now what will remain? 40 by 21. Now you can directly divide. How much it will be? 1.904 meter per second. Okay. 1.904 meter per second. Very simple. So average speed in this case is this one. So take screenshot of this. Okay. Now next thing we are going to calculate is average velocity. Now to calculate average velocity for A to C, formula is total displacement by total time. But let us calculate total displacement. To calculate displacement, we cannot take into account B. All we need to take into account is initial position and final position, right? That is point A and point B. sorry, point A and point C, initial and final position. We cannot take B into account because that is intermediate position. So let us calculate. So this is initial and final position, right? For A to C journey. So what will be the displacement length between AC? What is that length? 200 meter. So that is our answer. Total displacement. Total displacement would be AC. Why? Because this is initial and final position. We are calculating displacement. No. So take only initial and final. Forget about B. We cannot take B. So answer would be 200 meter. What about total time? Time would be same. Time would be same because we have to take both the times, 150 and 60, both the times we have to take. We cannot just take the time for the second journey. We have to take total time. Time would not change. So time would be AB time plus BC time. So that is how much? 150 plus 60. So that is 210 seconds. Now let us just divide them. We'll get our average velocity. So average velocity is 200 by 210. Let us cancel those zeros. So it will become 20 by 21. And final division 0.952. So final answer is 0.952 meter per second. So take screenshot of this. Okay, so give me response in chat box. Have you understood this, at least till this moment, how to calculate total displacement and sorry, average velocity and average speed for both the cases? Okay, it's very simple. I have explained with your diagram. I don't think there should be any problem. Okay. Now let us go for the third question. Okay, let us try to understand what they have given. So they have said that the name of the person is Abdul. Abdul, while driving to school, that person is going to school. Okay, it might be a student. So what that particular person is doing, or maybe teacher, who knows? Abdul, that person is going to school, commutes the average speed of his trip to be 20 km per hour. Okay, so what they're saying, to go to school, what speed he is using? 20 km per hour. And on his return trip, so when he's coming back from the school, what is the average speed? 30 km per hour. Okay, so both cases have been given. In first case, they have said from going from home to school, the speed is 20 km per hour. And when he is coming from school to home, the speed is 30 km per hour. All they are asking is, what is the average speed for Abdul's trip? Okay? They're just asking what is the average speed for both the trips, that is from home to school and school to home. Okay? So let us just imagine the situation first. So there are two places. First, we have considered home. They have not actually given, but first place I'm taking it as home by default. And second place they have given in the question, that is school. Okay? First one is I'm assuming it. So let me put, so this is the car through which that Abdul is traveling. Okay? Now this car initially from going from home to school, what is the speed? 20 km per hour, right? So he has reached from home to school, and what is this particular speed given as? 20 km per hour. Average speed for this case is from home to school, 20 km per hour. What about the second case? In case, this is case 1. In case 2, that person is traveling from school to home. Okay, from school to home. So from school to home, and what is the speed? 30 km per hour. So that is the speed, 30 km per hour. Let us just say this is case 2. Okay, let us just say case 2. Now all they are asking is calculate average speed for both the trips. Okay, combine both the things and please give us average speed for both the cases. Okay, so let us take both the cases. This is case 1, this is case 2. So before we proceed, give me response in chat box first. Have you understood the situation? What this Abdul is doing? And what we need to find out? All we need to find out is average speed for both the cases. Okay, let us combine. Now to find out average speed, we require total distance and total time, right? We require total distance and total time. We can take distance as, suppose let us say D. We will just assume it. Like in suppose algebra in class 8 or class 7, whenever some value was not given, what value you used to take by default? You used to say, let the common value be X or let the value be X. So why do you keep it X? Because you don't know the value. You are supposed to calculate it. So what we'll do? We will take the distance as D. What I'm assuming is the distance is D. So I have distance. To calculate average speed, I require total distance and total time. Total distance I can get. जाते वक्त अगर D है and आते वक्त D है, total distance will become D plus D, right? 2D. But what about time? So we will calculate time first and then we will substitute in the main formula. So let us calculate time for both the cases, case 1 and case 2. Okay, so how can we calculate that? Let us take velocity. How much velocity they have given? 20 kilometer per hour. Okay, that is our speed which is given. Now, time given is t1. Let us just say for case 1 the time is t1. Okay, t1 means time for case 1. And I am not going to convert this speed. Okay, I am not going to convert. I am assuming that this time is given in hours. Okay, so I am not going to convert. There is no need to convert time here. Just keep it as it is. Now what about the second one? Distance I am assuming is as d. This distance is between home and school. So what distance I'm assuming? D. Now let us calculate what is the formula for average speed. This 20 is given as average speed, no? So I can just use that formula. Average speed is equal to total distance by total time. Let me put these values here. What is the average speed they have given? 20. So let me put that 20. The formula is becoming average speed is V1. Distance is given as D. Time we have taken as T1. Put the values here. This V1 will become 20. So 20 and then d by t1. That is the thing which we have received. 20 is equal to d by t1. Now let us proceed for the second one. 20 is equal to d by t1, right? Now I need to calculate this time. So t1, if I substitute this t here, or if I take this t1 from division to other side, it will become into, it will go for multiplication. So that means it would be d by 20. So what will be the value of t1 from this particular formula, this equation? It will become t1 is equal to d by 20. So that is what we have received. So we have got our time for case 1. Okay? So give me response in chat box. Have you understood how we have calculated time for case 1? We assume distance and we just put it in the formula to take value of t1. Understood? Okay. Now what we'll do is we will calculate time for second case also in the same procedure, same way. We'll take velocity, okay, 30, it is given. Time we will assume as t2. It was assumed t1 for case 1. For case 2 we will assume it as t2. Okay? Now distance will keep as it is because from home to school distance has not changed. So distance would remain d. Formula is average speed is equal to total distance by total time. Let me replace the values. Average speed will become V2 for this case, d by t2. Now let me put the values. It will become 30 is equal to d by t2. I am interested in this time. I am interested in t2. So what would be the value of t2? It would become t2 is equal to d by 30. So I have got 2 times, right? T2 is equal to d by 30. Okay. Now, this is the main value which we were interested in, because we to calculate average speed for both the cases we require total distance. So distance we already have. Oh, what we are missing is time. So we have calculated time also. Now let me put those values. Now what is the formula for average speed? We have to calculate for both the cases, no? So let me write that formula again. Average speed is equal to total distance by total time. What is the total distance? Jate waqt d, aate waqt d. So it would become d plus d. So that would be 2d, right? Total distance will become d plus d because we are combining both the cases. So from home to school the distance is d. From school to home again it is d. So total distance would be d plus d, that is 2d. What about time? Total time is t1 plus t2. Matlab time for first case and time for second case. That values we already got, right? What is the value of t1? D by 20, right? D by 20 and d by 30. So with these both values we'll put in this equation. But take the screenshot of this particular slide. Okay? Take screenshot of this so that you can understand the situation. Case 1 and case 2. Okay. Okay, now tell me, can we proceed to find out actual answer? Because we have just found out the values. We have not actually answered the question. Okay, can we move? Anushka, what are you asking, sir? Is there only one method to solve this type of questions? No, Anushka. There are different ways to solve these questions, but I am explaining the easiest possible way. Okay, I am explaining the easiest possible way. Okay, so let us proceed. So what we got from our previous slide was time we had received. We were trying to calculate average distance and total time. So total distance we already have, d plus d, that is 2d. What we need is time, that is t1 plus t2. Now to calculate average speed, we have total distance by total time, right? What is total distance? That is 2d, right? D plus d. And what is time? That is t1 plus t2, right? T1 plus t2. Now d plus d is 2d. So and t1 plus t2 will remain as it is. Now what is the value of t1 and t2 that we have? T1 is d by 20 and t2 is d by 30. So let me put those values here. So it will become average speed is equal to 2d will remain as it is, but the values of t1 and t2 we are going to replace. So t1 is what? D by 20. And what is t2? D by 30, right? 2d by d by 20 plus d by 30. Now whatever is in the denominator, you can see we cannot add them because denominators are different. So we need to take LCM. Okay? So I will keep 2d as it is and I will take LCM. 20 and 30 LCM is 60. And what will be on the top? 3d plus 2d. Okay? And now 3d plus 2d is how much? 5d. 5d by 60. But you can see this 60 is in denominator here. So 60 will go to the numerator side. So this will become 2d into 60 has gone to the top. 2d into 60 by 5d. Now this d and d will get cancelled. D and d. Okay, you can cancel those. So d and d you can cancel. So d and d has been cancelled. So what is remaining? 2 into 60 by 5. Now 60 can be divided by 5, right? 5 ones are 5, 12s are. So 12 5 is 60. So that would be 12 into 2 divided by 1, right? 5 ones are 5 12s are. 12 twos are how much? 24. So 24 kilometer per hour. Why kilometer per hour? Because initially we didn't convert this speed. Okay, so whatever the unit it has, that will remain as it is, kilometer per hour. Okay? So give me response in chat box. Have you understood how to calculate this answer? All we need to do is put those values in this formula. Okay, values of T1 and T2. Okay, now let me tell you, some students might face problem here. Okay, d by 20 plus d by 30. Okay, for solving this LCM, some students, suppose let's say they might be weak in mathematics, so they might not be able to calculate this LCM. If you are not able to take LCM here, you can cross multiply. See, solving such kind of fractions, there are two methods. One is take LCM or you cross multiply. So cross multiplication is also fine. Why I have taken LCM here is because it becomes easier for calculation. Multiplying the values, it would become a very large number. Denominator will be multiplying 20 into 30, how much? 0, 0, 2 3s are 6. So it would be 600. Working with those high numbers is very difficult. But if you are not comfortable with LCM, you can go for that cross multiply. That is totally up to you. Okay? Final answers won't change. This answer, you will still get the same one. Even if you take LCM, even if you cross multiply. That is totally your choice. Okay. So average speed for this case is 24 kilometer per hour. Okay. Now, actually we could have solved this question, but the time is limited. So what we'll do, in our next session,